Assassin's Creed 2. Widely considered by many to be the best Assassin's Creed in the series. Some consider this to be far superior to the first one. So, yeah, this is a game which I have really wanted to get around to reviewing for quite some time. It was released back in 2009, so it's nearly 9 years old. And, yeah, don't ask me why I've not got around to reviewing this. I don't know why, but it's finally time to have a look at this. And I'll give you my thoughts on this game. Do I think that this is the best Assassin's Creed game? And do I think that this is more popular than the first game? Because I quite liked the first game. I thought it was a really good game. Now, as you can see, I got this for the Xbox 360, which I've got down here. And now we're going to pop the disc in. And here is my Xbox 360, which, compared to other games consoles, I think is huge. But anyway, I'm not going to go on too long. We're going to turn this sucker on. And now, there you go. There is that nice old Xbox 360 intro. So let's get ready to go. You may notice I've got Nintendo Switch games. So yeah, I've got a Nintendo Switch. Whee! Oh. That sounds really loud. Oh look, it's Ubisoft. This is too loud, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back home because this is so loud. I'm actually going to download this onto my hard drive. So there we go, we go on to my games. You can see there's a few, so let's pop this into game details. And then we are going to install this son of a bitch. Installing game. Do not turn off your console or remove your storage device. So we're currently at 0%, 1%. So don't worry guys, we're going to get this done. It's going to be amazing when this is done, isn't it? Not long now, we've only got 97% left. Come on. Oh, he's getting to 96. We're getting warmer. 95 now. Here we are. We're nearly there now. Oh, man. This certainly was the best 10 minutes of my life. Oh look, the fan stopped. It's all over. We can now continue. We can now play the game. And if I'm correct, there should be no fan sound from this now. The console shouldn't be sounding very loud. And there we go. There is our Ubisoft logo again. Jesus Christ, that was a pain in the ass. So anyway, on to the game itself. Our game starts off right where the first one left off. Some guys are after Desmond Miles for whatever reason, due to one of his ancestors doing something really bad. But yeah, I don't know why this is happening, seeing as this happens like centuries before this has taken place. I don't know whether this part is meant to be set in the present day or the near future. I have no idea. Let's just go for present day because it's already complicated enough as it is. The main gameplay, you play as Ezio, and the bulk of this is set in
the Renaissance era, unlike the first game, which was set in the Crusades. First of all, at first glance, if you take a look at the game, straight away when I first played this, I thought that the graphics were superior and the gameplay was refined. I quite like the gameplay from the first game, but I think in this they polished it up a little bit, and I think that they made it a whole lot better. And of course, the graphics had to be better, seeing as this game came out 2 years after the original. First few hours of gameplay, you get to learn a lot more about the character of Ezio. I feel like in this game there was a lot more character development to our main protagonist, as opposed to what we got in the first game. And I quite like that. Although sometimes there are a little bit too many cutscenes here and there. One thing I quite find annoying in some video games is that there are so many cutscenes in some games. I remember hearing from Steven Spielberg once, because believe it or not, he is a big gamer, and he actually said that cutscenes in video games are quite intrusive to our experience of playing the game. We want to play the game, we don't want to watch all of these cutscenes. If you want to watch something, go and watch a movie. The cutscenes themselves, they're quite good, and they add a little bit more to the plot, and they kind of give us some insight into the character of Ezio, as well as some insight to the connection between him and his descendant, Desmond Miles. Of course, as I said, the gameplay is the main selling point for this game. Now, I quite liked the gameplay from the first game. If you remember, I did say that in my review of that it does become a little bit repetitive, especially when you're coming towards the end of the main campaign, because you get to do the same thing over and over again, and it becomes so monotonous. Here, there's a lot more variety in tasks what you can do. It's not just all about assassinating your targets. There are other things to do, such as having some races and collecting feathers. What is this? Banjo-Kazooie? I don't know why it's feathers you have to collect. I suppose it's to do with the main plot, and they use feathers and all of that malarkey in the game. It's just the way it works. Don't ask why, it just does. There's a ton of collectibles in this game, which is great, and the open world gameplay is something which I am a huge fan of, because I am a sucker for open world video games. You've seen in my review of Bully recently that I quite like those type of games where you just walk around in an environment. The feeling which I get from this game is there's so much more to do, there's so much more exploration, because in the first game, while that was very good at doing things like that, it was very limited in terms of collectibles that you could get, because in that you had to collect all the flags, but that was just like optional. At the same time, you did the occasional quest like save a civilian and all that type of thing, and now and again you could assassinate some targets, but here you've actually got a currency system, so it's a little bit like Zelda in a way, because you get to collect currency. But one thing I really like about this is most of the currency that you collect them from treasure chests like Zelda, and you can also steal them from people, which I think is a really good mechanic. One thing that's also good is you get, when you are running low on health, you can actually buy some new health from the Witch Doctor. Now, the Witch Doctor plays a big part in this game and reappears later on in the series. It's also fun to note, seeing as this is set in the Renaissance period in Italy, we get a few appearances from some real life people, such as a younger Leonardo da Vinci. I find it quite interesting that they put this in the game. It adds a little bit more to it, because it's something which was kind of lacking in the first game. First game was set in the Crusades era, so you had all those type of areas such as Damascus, whereas here you've got Florence, and I really think that the environment in this particular game, it's so much better. it's got a better overworld compared to the first game. It's also nice that we get a little bit of an Easter egg to a certain Italian plumber in this game as well.
It's a me, Mario!
Uncle Mario.
Overall, this game is so much grander in scale compared to the first game. They took everything from the first game and made it better. My main criticism for the first game was the repetitiveness, especially towards the end of the game, because with that game it did feel satisfying to finish it, but I just felt like some parts they went on too long, especially towards the end. You kind of expected what was going to happen, and again and again and again. And don't get me started on all those guards that kept detecting you all the time. I feel in this game they've refined that, especially with the wanted posters for your notoriety level. Basically, the higher your notoriety level, the more likely is that you're going to get detected, and all of the guards and whatnot are going to come chasing after you. But you have these wanted posters scattered all across the map, and if you find them, you can just rip them off the wall, and then your notoriety level decreases. So basically, lower your notoriety level and you're even less likely to get caught by those fuckers, because trust me, they were so annoying in the first game, and I feel like in this they are even less annoying, which is a huge positive. So I'm really glad that Ubisoft actually went around to fixing that. There's all sorts of other shit you can do as well. You can buy updates, as I said earlier. You can buy from the Witch Doctor, and you can get some new clothing, all of that type of thing. You're all covered in this game. You will be playing this for hours. There's so much more to do in this game, and I'm so glad that they expanded on this whole formula for this game. And it only got better after this, because since this game was released, there's been a new Assassin's Creed game every single year, apart from last year. For some reason last year they never decided to release one. Probably because the series has been panned a little bit lately due to the releases of such games as Assassin's Creed Unity, which received a poor reception due to the amount of glitches that were inside the game once it came out. Assassin's Creed 2 definitely deserves all the praise that it got back in the day and what it still gets today. It's highly regarded as the best one in the series, and I can totally see why. As someone who was a fan of open world gameplay, I absolutely love this game, and it is such a joy to play this and keep coming back to this now and again. And I would highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't even touched the Assassin's Creed franchise before, as well as someone who likes that type of open world gameplay and exploration. And yes, those Nintendo Switch games that you saw earlier in this video, I will be reviewing them soon, so stay tuned. And now into the editing process.
Oh, for fuck's sakes!